Kia ora ana, ko Chelsea Cuthers-Munro toku ingoa. I'm a New Zealand-born Cook Island Māori woman, and I have received funding from Boosted Moana, Creative New Zealand, and a scholarship from Pacific Media Network to produce a short film/documentary called Lost in Translation. So this short film and documentary explores my nana's migrational endeavours over from Rarotonga in the 1950s, which is where a lot of Cook Islanders migrated to New Zealand. Then she came into Aotearoa and she started in Ponsonby, which is again a hotspot for Cook Islanders back in those days. And then she ended up buying her first property in Otara, the home of the brave, and that's where she raised her family, which is my mum and like all of her brothers and sisters in there. And I talk about how she came over with the intention to create better futures and opportunities for her and her future. But then I actually realized that that came at a cost of kind of losing our language and our culture along the way. So it's basically two worlds coming together, seeing how we can draw from the past and the history and what's been before me in order to go forward in the best way that I can. So I feel like this is a really important story that needs to be told from my generation and my perspective, because I have experienced and shared openly the disconnect that I've felt from my cultural heritage, being a New Zealand-born Cook Islander, feeling like it was an isolated kind of case with my family in terms of not knowing the language, not knowing the customs or traditions. So I wanted to ask questions around that, but then the more I started asking questions, I actually realized that 4% of the New Zealand-born Cook Island Māori people here in New Zealand speak the language, 4%. And so it's not an isolated case. This is like our whole culture is literally slipping through the hands of our next generation. So I needed to do something about it. So I was proactive. And I took the initiative to document it through a documentary. And in order to do that, I need to go right back to my start, which is my nana, who is alive to tell her story for me to be able to best decide how to go forward to preserve what we have left and to do as much as I can to save a dying culture. This film or documentary will be a catalyst into creating change so we can preserve our culture and we can bring it back because it is dying. If you're out there and you do want to support the short film/documentary Lost in Translation, you can head to Boosted under the Moana tab and you can type in Lost in Translation. You'll find me there, my why, my story, why I'm doing it, why I'm passionate about it, and how you can take part in that and invest into making this story a reality for all of our people.